We have traveled all over Kenya to find hard-working farmers.
We want to celebrate them while giving them the help they need to improve their farms,
Get better yields.
and build profitable businesses.
We will see how farmers from across the region can benefit from our experts' advice.
While also learning from each other in so many ways.
Join us on these journeys and share in the farmers' experiences as they shape up their shambas.
Karibu to the Shamba Shape Up Safari.
Tony!
I knew I'd find you here. I know you love bananas.
Of course, Tony, I love bananas.
Isn't this an amazing Shamba?
You know, Tony, it's a very good shamba. And you know what? They grow everything here except one thing.
I know. Money.
Exactly. And you know, I was thinking we should bring in our experts so that they can help them grow a business plan.
By growing money trees.
By using the experts' advice to grow profits.
Well, let's get growing.
Let's grow!
Let's grow.
This week, we are in fertile lands of Kirinyaga, one of Kenya's loveliest counties.
And we are visiting John and Martha. They have 3 children, with the elder son, Francis, keen to follow in his father's footsteps and become a farmer too.
So, let's go and meet them.
Hey, Tony.
Yes, Carol.
How are you?
Fine.
Fine.
We've arrived.
Yes.
Welcome.
Kindly show us around your farm.
Okay.
All right.
Let's.
Okay. Mother, we'll see you later.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, bye, Mother.
Well, we say they grow everything here. And they do. They have cabbages,
3 tomatoes,
my favorite, bananas,
melons,
tomatoes.
and some fine-looking cows.
Yes. Wow. Yes.
Your cows look very healthy.
Thank you.
And they look so good.
Thank you.
Now, I don't know whether you're experiencing any problems and you'd like to tell us about them.
I'm experiencing some problems on parasites
That is with the cows.
with the cows. You see, I have got melons there which are not doing well.
Yes. Now, Francis, how can Shamba Shape Up help you?
I can really want to know how to get a good crop, maize crop production.
And we like it when young farmers like him get to be involved in the shamba. So we only have one day, we better get to work.
Yes. And we'll see you later.
Bye.
Okay. All right.
Welcome. Thank you.
It's time to pitch the tent and get ready for work.
Tony, look what I found.
This is wonderful.
You think you can use this?
Yes, just what I was looking for.
Are you ready for a hard day's work?
Now I am.
We have an expert on growing melons.
And we are going to find out how to stop parasites in your dairy cattle.
But before that, we want to find out about the soil quality.
The soil test results are back. So first, I'm going to find out the best fertilizer to use on this particular shamba.
And I'm going to see what's going on with the maize.
Later.
See you later.
John is planning to grow maize and the field is ready for planting. So, I've invited Maurice from Mavuno to give us some advice.
Oh, John and Maurice.
Yes.
I can see you're busy. I just got the soil results and I decided I should just come immediately and give them to you. And it's good that John is here so that he can help us analyze it.
As you can see here, your pH is good. pH is actually a measure of the soil condition and its ability to supply nutrients to the crops that you're going to put in the farm. Then calcium is low.
What does calcium do?
To the soil, it helps in neutralizing the acidity and actually improving the soil structure and all aspects of the soil. When it comes to the crop, it helps in terms of increasing the shelf life of the commodities once you harvest. Once you harvest your maize, it will actually stay longer in your storage. Yeah. Phosphorus is high. Magnesium is also high. So we need to make that balanced. And boron is also low.
What does boron do?
It helps in terms of improving the quality of your actual yield.
My soil is lacking magnesium, borons, and so on.
Yeah.
How can I make my soil better?
We have Mavuno for maize, and Mavuno is actually a well-blended fertilizer that has all these elements in the right proportions for your maize and also for your soil. So we are going to fix that up.
Okay, you have told me that Mavuno is the best.
Yeah.
Then how can I know that it's the one which I'm supposed to use?
Fortunately, we have even a farmer who's actually used Mavuno.
Yes.
And it's best that you talk farmer to farmer so that you can actually see actually how it has helped them so that it can also help you at the end of the day.
All right, then, let's do that.
Please, let's go. Let's go.
What better way to know how well Mavuno fertilizer works than by asking another farmer? Maurice knows just the right person. Helen has a farm very close by and she has been so impressed with Mavuno. She's not only using it on her crops, but Helen has started a business selling Mavuno to other farmers.
And Helen, I don't know, you look familiar. I don't know that you've been on our Shamba program.
Yes, I've been there.
Yes, I'm right. I don't know, maybe you should come over so that we can talk some more.
Let me come.
So, this will be very interesting. Helen has also been featured on Shamba Shape Up. I can't wait to find out what John and Helen have to say to each other.
I have heard that you have been using Mavuno for long.
Okay, I've been using Mavuno for 4 years with bananas, coffee, maize, vegetables. The best thing with Mavuno is that they usually manufacture Mavuno for every crop. So the crop is able to attain what is supposed to be got from the fertilizer.
Mavuno is crop specific. And besides that, when it comes for coffee, for example, we have micronutrients inside our fertilizers. We put calcium, magnesium, sulfur, and other small nutrients like zinc, boron, copper, molybdenum, and manganese. All that in one fertilizer. And every single of those elements, they have their function in the crops. That's why Mavuno is different from all the other fertilizers.
The other thing best with Mavuno is that instead of using 100 kg per acre, use 75 kg.
Yeah.
So I started saving retro by retro, and I was able to build this house. And I found that Mavuno fertilizer is so nice that I started selling to the farmers.
So you see, she's farming, she's getting money, she's saving, and she's making her business much better. Yeah.
I would like her to explain on how he finds the fertilizer compared with others on terms of production.
Right now I'm getting 2,000 kg. So there is a very great difference.
Do you really need to just maybe buy it in a big sack? Is it affordable?
That's why Mavuno is very unique from other products, because when it comes to Mavuno, we have factored in every single farmer. We have different packages. We have the 50 kg pack, the 25 kg pack, the 12.5 kg pack, the 10 kg pack, and the 1 kg pack. And even the prices are quite fair based in the market. And it's actually a fertilizer that is made in Kenya and actually ideal for Kenyan soils.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm quite convinced. And Helen, is it possible I get to buy one bag of fertilizer?
Yes, right now you can get one and take it home.
Maurice, we've hit the jackpot. Nice.
Francis is keen to learn about farming, so one day he can take over from his father. He's put in charge of planting the maize. So, we invited Kimani from Seedco to give Francis some advice on how to select a seed variety that will do well in this area.
Kimani, how would you advise Francis here, as a young farmer, about selection of seeds?
Which market are you targeting?
Okay, green market.
What is green market?
A green market is where the farmer harvests the crops being green, either for roasting or for boiling. Yeah, that is what we term as the green market.
How would you advise Francis here, especially when it comes to selection of seeds?
We have different varieties of seed. Some are very good for the conventional farming and some can be very good for irrigation. I would start with some of our varieties like Duma 43. It is able to tolerate drought very, very well. Also takes a very short time. Within 90 days you have ready food on the table, and therefore without irrigation, Duma 43 will do very, very well.
Why Duma?
Seedco, we name our varieties by their characteristics of specific animals. Duma is cheetah in Swahili. Because Duma is very fast in terms of maturing, that is why we have named it Duma.
There are so many animals you've used.
We have Duma, we have Sungura, we have Pundamilia, we have Tembo, we have Twiga, we have Simba.
Francis, if you are to buy Twiga, what does that remind you of?
Tallness.
Correct, you're right.
That's a giraffe.
Yeah, giraffe is the tall animal, and therefore that variety goes to the high altitude.
That's quite easy to remember.
Yeah, now we have another variety here we call Sungura. You realize we've named it after this animal, rabbit. If you chase a rabbit, it will not go straight. When you want to hold it on this side, then it jumps to the other side. Now, that is how sungura treats the weather. When the weather becomes tough on this side, it jumps to the other side, streaking the weather until the farmer has something on the table. It is a 75 days variety. It is also very, very sweet. It is highly drought tolerant. It is very good for foliage. I know most of the farmers around feed their animals with the stoffers from the maize. The third variety that I want to talk about is Pundamilia. Pundamilia is a zebra in English. You realize this Pundamilia is not a very big animal, nor is it a very small animal. That means this variety is meant for the medium altitude areas. And these, I mean, the areas where we mostly grow coffee. And it is the variety that I would recommend for this place. The reason behind that is that it has very big cobs. It's a very good double cobber. And you know, a farmer doing the green market will depend on the number of cobs that you get from a given area. The farmer is bound to make very good money out of it. It has a potential of giving you up to 40 bags per acre. This variety, Pundamilia 529, is the best for this area.
And look, here's Francis's father, John, straight from Helen's shop. And I see he's carrying a bag of Mavuno fertilizer too. So now we are ready for planting. Kimani has advised us on which maize seed to grow. Now I want him to give us some tips on planting. First, the importance of planting in straight lines.
Number one, when you're using an ox plow to make your furrows, sometimes you are not able to make them very straight. And if they are not straight, you realize you lose a lot of land. Then definitely you will not have the correct plant population. And for that reason, you may not have the expected yields.
Okay, now is our big chance to see the expert demonstrate to us the proper way of planting maize in your shamba.
Now, I want to demonstrate double digging to ensure that you've broken the hard pan. You hit the ground twice, the same spot. The first time you hit, you will only do like 4 inches. So you have to do a second time, which will give you at least around 6 to 8 inches. That will be enough soil to hold water, to hold the nutrients, and to give the plant enough space to establish the roots.
Lots of work. Wow, do you see what you've done? So what's the next point from here?
My rope here is marked, and the markings will guide us on where to dig our hole. You make sure the rope is tight.
And it is straight.
And very straight. And it is always advisable to dig your holes when you're moving backwards, not to cover the previous holes. And you can see my holes are 1 foot apart. It's important to make sure that your hole is not less than 6 inches deep.
Yeah.
Now, to make the second row, we want to do 2.5 feet from one row to the other. A farmer can use his hands. One hand like this will be around 6 inches, and then you do it twice, that will be 1 foot. So you do the first 1 foot like that, and another 1 foot like that, and then the third one up to here. And with the 2.5 feet, the farmer will be assured of scoring at least 20,000 plants per acre. The next step is to put in manure. It may not be very common, but it's very good practice for farmers to use grass to protect themselves. If the farmer has a lot of manure, you can do half a kilo per hole. Now here we may not have a lot of it, so we can use a handful per hole, and you mix thoroughly.
It is important to mix manure with soil at the bottom of a hole. If manure is spread on top of the soil, the plant roots will grow up to the surface. The plant will be unstable and the yield will be low.
Now, after putting the manure, we have our Pantry Fertilizer here. Remember, we have put in 1 bottle top of a fertilizer, and that is only enough for 1 plant. But the most important thing is to make sure that the fertilizer does not come into direct contact with your seed, because definitely your seed will be scorched and may end up dying. Now, from there, here we have our Pundamilia. You put 1 seed per hole.
In this land, which quantity do I get?
This is like 1/4 acre. And 1/4 acre will take 1 packet of Pundamilia. That 1 packet has around 7,000 seeds. We are anticipating or expecting that you have 2 cobs per plant. So at least you'll be assured of getting around 10,000 cobs that you will take to the market and have surplus that you can use for your own consumption.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kimani.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
So, we've learned about how to choose
the right maize seed for your area.
And how doing a soil test can help you determine the best fertilizer to use on your Shamba.
But on this Shamba, John is a real expert.
That's right, and that's why we've asked him to share his top tip for farming.
The idea which I'm going to share with farmers is the use of deep holes while planting. Once you water that hole, the retention of water will be more because when the sun is setting, a half side of the hole has a shade. So you find that the crop does not get the sun all through. I would recommend it to the farmers because when you use this technology, you find that your crop is always healthy.
That's a nice tip. A very clever way to prevent your roots getting scorched by the sun.
And conserves water too.
Well, coming up after the break, looking after melons.
And getting rid of parasites.
Welcome back.
To Shamba Shape Up.
We are in Kirinyaga County and we are visiting John and Martha
We've seen how to choose a fertilizer
and the benefits of double digging. But we also want to find out about looking after melons.
and managing parasites in dairy cattle.
So, no time to waste.
See you later.
Okay. John is a keen melon farmer, but this season he's had a lot of problems. So we have invited Mugambe from Osho to take a look at his crop. When he inspected, Mugambe found not one, but two serious problems. Fortunately, he's got two solutions as well. Let's meet him and find out what to do. John, how long have you been growing watermelons?
I have been doing this for quite long, since 2000.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how has it been?
It has been doing good, but of late I'm having problems with some pests and diseases.
I was here last week and I was able to identify a few problems, and I think it would be good if I can show you around and so that you can appreciate what I'm talking about.
Good, good.
And on this spot I can see we have a lot of aphids.
Yes.
And if you check just on the underside of the leaves, you'll be able to see these green tiny things. They are called aphids.
Mugambi,
Yes.
what are aphids?
Aphids are insects and they are mostly green in color. Normally they feed by sucking on the leaves, on the underside of the leaves. When they are too much, you now notice this soot mode. We call it soot mode, the sugary thing you can see on the leaves, and then it results into this curling you can see over here. And if it's not controlled, it's likely to cause viral diseases in melons, and is very destructive if it attacks your melons.
Have you ever experienced that before?
Yeah, it has been there, but for now it's turning to be not manageable.
Oh, it's going out of control.
Yeah.
We have two products that are very effective in the control of the aphids. One of them is a product called Dynamo. Yes. And we have another product called Nibezidine. If you tank mix these two, you are going to get a very good control of the aphids.
Mix 60 milliliters of Nibezidine with 3 grams of Dynamo in 20 liters of water and stir well.
Why do we need to use these two products?
If you spray Dynamo today, you kill all your aphids the same day.
Yeah.
But now we are recommending you use Nibezidine as a combination because we need a longer residual effect so that it can continue protecting your melons for a longer period of time without any reinfestation of the aphids.
I get you.
Another problem I've noticed is the melon fly. I think I can show you where I spotted it. A melon fly is actually an insect that basically lays its eggs on the young fruits of a melon. If you don't control it in time, you can lose a lot of yields. Once it affects the flower, some decompose and others have deformities. Like this is a good example, Bwana John. On this vine, the same vine, you can see there is a fruit which was forming here, but it's not here anymore, it has rotten. Actually, I can even see another example here, and it starts as a spot. This is where the eggs were laid. If you do not spray, sometimes you get now the rotting happening because of the effects of the melon fly.
So what does John do about the melon fly?
We have a product called Nibezidine, which is very friendly to the bees, and we also mix it with the oxodione to be able to get the knockdown effect. And also it has a very bad smell, which is also helps in repairing the melon flies.
How do I use these two products?
You first measure 60 ml of Nibezidine, put it in an empty container, then put water and stir. Then measure 50 ml of oxodione, put in the same container and stir.
I think now, since our expert is here, let's get spraying.
When spraying insecticide, it's always a good idea to wear protective clothing. Some chemicals can irritate the skin when coming into direct contact. The best time to spray is early morning or late in the evening, as insecticide works best when the temperature is not too high. Remember, always wait at least 7 days between spraying and harvesting. That's it. Next season, I'm sure John will have a bumper harvest.
Our final expert today is Kanyi from Coopers. He's come to help John get rid of parasites infecting his cows. And it is important to start with the calves so they have the best chance of growing big and strong. Let's see what he has to say.
Can see you've met Rachel, Minji, and Ndengu.
And then good.
I don't know, what can you tell us about the calves?
We need to talk about internal parasites. When you look at this far, it is rough. So that is one indicator that you have dewormed the calf, but you've not done the right thing correctly. Number two, when you move this far this way, you can see the fur is coming off. So that is another sign to show you that the calf has worms. Then also, when you look at the eyes of Rachel, you can see it has watery eyes. It is another indicator of worms. The other sign is when you look at the calf and you see it has a pot belly. Yeah, like now when you have Rachel, you can see that the belly is a bit down here, extended. So that is another sign of worms.
There has to be a reason why the worms come. Yeah. Where do they come from?
These worms, they breed even when we are doing the pastures. So when you bring in the pasture, you bring the eggs of the worms. So make sure that you follow the deworming regime. That is, from the first month after calving, we have to do it every month, up to 6 months.
Which are the right dosage?
When you are doing deworming, John, you should consider the weight of the cow. When you are doing the deworming and you have not taken the weight, then what you are doing, you are giving an other dose. You have been doing the deworming, but you can see still it has the problem with the worms. We have a weighing bag that we are going to use to take the weight of the calf. It's very simple. You make sure that you pass this tape around the guard. Here, this is where we call the guard, from the bottom to the top. When this tape meets with the other side, make sure that you can put 3 to 2 fingers below the tape. Yes. And where you hold with your fingers, that is where now the weight of the calf is. For this calf, what is the weight of the calf? 89 kgs. Then with that weight, then you can go direct to the actual deworming. We have the Nielsen bolus and we have the Nefruk bolus. You have to alternate the two.
So, depending on the weight of the calf, crush the correct amount of tablet into a fine powder and then mix with a cup of water. When ready, pour into the syringe. Use within 10 minutes to avoid the fluid going bad. Deworm every month up to 6 months. Alternate between using the two products, Nielsen and Nefluk, every 3 months. This stops the parasites developing resistance to one of the products.
So, Stephen, are we ready to deworm?
We are ready to deworm this, but we have to restrain it.
Okay, Rachel, here we go.
You should know that the calf or the cow, there is an opening that doesn't have teeth. It is called diastema. So what you need to do, you have to place your finger there. Then using that finger inside the mouth, you scratch the tongue a bit.
Okay.
And make sure never hold the tongue so that we can allow the calf to swallow the dewormer so that it will not go to the weed pipe. Then on the other side, because it doesn't have teeth, that is where you put your syringe in.
Come down, Rachel.
This calf, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's give Rachel a rest and we go to the adult cows. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Internal parasites are just half of the problem. The other half is the external parasites. So, Stephen is taking us to see the adult cows and is going to start spraying them.
When we have cows with external parasites, which we call the vectors, the cow incurs a lot of problems because one, when we have these vectors like ticks, flies and fleas, the farmer goes at a loss because he is incurring so many veterinary costs which are unnecessary, and also the farmer is losing a lot in terms of production because 80% of the diseases that face farmers are caused by the vectors, that is external parasites. We have a product by the name Triatex. Then also We have another product by the name Greenaid. Greenaid is there to alternate with triatics. We do this in order to avoid resistance. Every 3 months, we say that you interchange the triatics and Greenaid. You use 2 ml of triatics in 1 liter of water. For the Greenaid, use 1 milliliter of Greenaid to 1 liter of water. The ratio is 1:1. You should spray every 7 days.
Carol,
Oh, Tony,
how is it going here?
no more ticks, no more worms.
Kanyi, what do you think of today's work?
All good, Kanyi.
All I heard was Tony.
I know his tools of trade, he can hardly talk.
We've come to the end of our shape up today.
What have you learned? Have we helped you in any way?
Fantastic, Carlo. It was so nice.
Yes.
And now I'm so much equipped. I can do better.
And so, Tony, our work here is done.
Yes, we've got to go, and we'll see you in the next Shamba.